Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Salmon7, and today I wanted to talk about something really important about, especially when it comes to animation, and that is concerning about Western animation. As you guys can read from the title itself, I will be talking about what happened to Western animation, and or what happened to what what made Western animation so lazy nowadays, and so let's try to actually comprehend this because if you guys don't know, I actually grew up with. If you guys don't know, maybe some of you do, but I actually grew up with watching Western animated shows and movies, especially from Disney and Cartoon Network. I didn't exactly. I wouldn't say I would. I did exactly grow up with with Nickelodeon, Toonami. Maybe I grew up with some other kids networks like Fox Kids and Jetix, and well, in some occasions. But with the recent decline of Western animation, especially with the quality of animation, I feel like it is really going downhill. Especially considering I grew up with Western animation as itself, and I'm really disappointed how it is going. It is going to declining in quality, as you can tell. A lot of people might think I'm biased or nostalgia blind, but I feel like since like late 2010s, since the release of Adventure Time and regular show, the one thing that really declined from quality is not the storytelling or character development, well, in some occasions, but what really declined is especially when you look at these newer shows that are coming out, is the quality of animation and the character designs, especially. I feel like since the success of Adventure Time and regular show, I feel like ever since that day, people, especially Western animators and a lot of animation studios, feel like cheaper equals better in when it comes to style, especially the look of the show. And I'm not saying all Western animated shows that have this simpler CalArts art style are bad shows. Gravity Falls, Steven Universe, Wander Over Yonder, Star versus Forces of Evil, etc. And these kind of shows, I feel like, are stepping up with the quality of character development and animation and the animation department. But with the character designs, I feel like they are simple, but they actually work as simple animations because they're focusing more on telling the actual story and developing the characters rather than make a quick zany type of humor. And a lot of people feeling I'm biased, but especially with the lower quality of animated shows, especially with its style, with its colored style, I feel like more and more people feel like they need to become more and more lazy. We're getting a lot of reboots, rehashes of many other things, and because of that, I'm not too proud of seeing how Western animation is being treated because of success of shows like Teen Titans Go and many other reboot shows try to replicate the same formula, or any other show like Pickle and Peanut, Breadwinners, and Fanboy and Chum Chum, and many other kind of bad shows that try to replicate this type of humor or animation style that Teen Titans Go has. And really, I'm kind of sick of talking about Teen Titans Go because considering kind of do have cable, but I don't exactly have assurance, or my parents have the assurance to actually pay extra money to actually get better quality TV channels on cable. But considering TV sucks nowadays, especially Cartoon Network, with their constant spamming of Teen Titans Go, I feel like I just gave up on Cartoon Network and and also Nickelodeon at the same time, because they really spamming shows that are really not as good or even interesting as compared to shows like in the 90s and the early 2000s because the one reason why I love Cartoon Network, for example, is that their shows have different and unique styles. For example, the original Tom and Jerry made by Joseph Barbera and William Hanna. I love Tom and Jerry, the classic Tom and Jerry cartoons because of the animation style and the fact that the characters don't talk. They focus more on visual humor rather than dialogue humor compared to shows like Animaniacs, Looney Tunes, Tiny Toon Adventures, and many other Warner Brother kind of properties. I'm not really sure. I think Hanna-Barbera was kind of owned by Warner Brothers. I think they kind of published the show. Warner Brothers published the shows, but Hanna-Barbera practically had the license for all of their shows like the Flintstones, Jetsons, Tom and Jerry, and etc. And the reason why I still enjoy Cartoon Network shows back in the day like Courage the Cowardly Dog, Samurai Jack, Codename Kids Next Door, Megas XLR is because each show has a different story to tell, and even though some of the shows like Ed and Eddie and Courage the Cowardly Dog, for example, focus on more comedic aspects of such shows, they also kind of focus on developing the characters in some way, for example, or giving the characters each individual personalities. A lot of people actually point out the reason why Teen Titans Go doesn't work as a comedy is because each of the character is acting exactly the same. And the same problem applies to Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like the new show that Nickelodeon rebooted recently, and because of that they all act as the same characters, because the reason why comedic shows like Animaniacs, Ed and Eddie, and Tom and Jerry work is because each character has their individual personalities. For example, Tom the cat, for example, is greedy, cynical, a bit of a party dude, lazy cat, and many other qualities that define a cat. While Jerry, for example, is a mischievous character. He usually starts off the trouble, trying to annoy Tom just so Tom can chase him around for a bit, and that's why the comedy for Tom and Jerry works, because Tom and Jerry have these different individual personalities because they are different characters. And Eddie, for example, work as a comedy is because Eddie is a schemer, Double D, and also the leader. Double D is the smart one, and also the responsible one, and Ed is just the stupid one, and also the strong man. And because of that, their individual personalities, you can actually create comedic dialogue that actually fits the characters and make the characters do certain things they originally meant to do. Like, for example, Ed can lift a 2-story house and drops it on Eddie because cartoon logic, and because of that, it is funny because Ed is dumb and is a strong guy, but Eddie is a schemer and also kind of an idiot at the same time. Not as stupid as Ed, but he does come up with some ridiculous ideas that don't even work half the time. That's why it works, because of that. Because of those individual personalities, you can create better comedic moments with these characters. While Teen Titans Go, Powerpuff Girls Reboot, and even Thundercats Roar, which hasn't come out yet, the problems with those shows is the fact that all the characters will feel like they're the same character. They don't have the individual personalities, and because of that, the comedic aspects don't work. And another problem with these simple art styles and Western animation becoming lazy is the fact that they feel like with the cheaper animation styles and whatnot, they feel like that it's just for kids. Kids don't care if the quality of the animation is good or not, but That is right, because kids don't know better, and kids are kids. They don't their brains don't function as, as fast as a teenager or adult. Their brain develops the way how they interact with things, or what they learn from responsibility of parenthood, or from the TV shows they're watching. And the problem is the fact that the reason why Teen Titans Go is becoming popular is because Teen Titans Go, I feel like, is this marketing ploy to make kids dumber and to make them not understand the good quality content is like not needed anymore. And especially with the Disney cartoons, especially with Marvel cartoons, they really have declined with quality. And not to mention the fact that Disney is also making live action remakes of classic Disney 2D Disney movies like The Lion King, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, which came out a few years back. And because of that, they feel like no one cares about 2D traditional animation anymore. Now we just have to reboot everything so we can, appeal to the modern audience. And the problem is with the modern audience, especially when it comes to animation, is the fact that they always get suckered in by nostalgia. Sometimes nostalgia is a good thing, but sometimes it can be a bad thing. A lot of people, I feel like, defending Disney a lot, and considering it's Disney, they can do nothing wrong. But that is, I think, the main issue is the fact that Disney people nowadays feel like Disney can't do anything wrong because of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies and some of their, animated movies that are actually good. 3D ones like Zootopia, Wreck-It Ralph, many other things. But the problem is with this whole idea of rebooting animated 2D classic animated movies from Disney, is the fact that they don't care anymore. They just want to make money and nothing else. Now, and a lot of people might argue with the fact that yes, they do this with money, but without money you can't do anything. I do understand that, but there are other things more important than money. There are, trying your best to create something creative, original, and if you do actually, experiment on something like that and actually you put your heart and soul into it, then you can actually make some money. Not a lot of it, but actually make some money that because you made something that people appreciate and actually can experience something creative and something new. But with this whole, crappy reboots, reimaginings of shows that are not as good, like the classic stuff, like the classic Marvel comics or classic animated TV shows. Sorry. And because of that, people don't feel like the newer stuff is always better, because people always try to market that thing as the best new thing. It's like we live in a world where people are like, forget the old thing and move on with the new thing. And with the Western animation, I feel like it is really declining. I feel like America especially is just not caring about 2D animation anymore, especially with 2D animation. And because of that, with the stupid decisions that Christina Miller and also the new president of Nickelodeon is doing, I feel like because of those decisions, and these people still making money out of it is the main issue, with the fact that people don't want to put effort into things to actually help people to be more creative and actually create something creative, original, and amazing. The reason why I love the original Lion King is the fact that they actually teach us some things they could never learn from school. And I love watching shows like Samurai Jack because of the journey, what the characters going through, and the lessons I learn, even though the characters don't talk much, because it focuses more on visual storytelling rather than dialogue heavy storytelling, like a lot of animated shows do. I still kind of, a lot of people don't know, I still practice drawing, even though I'm not very good at it, especially when I try to create something from my imagination. But because of Gravity Falls gave me hope that, and there's some hope for Western animation yet, because after the late 2010s, animation has been really declining in quality. The only good shows were like the only good shows that came out in the early 2010s were Generator Rex, Spectacular Spider-Man, Thundercats 2011, Symbionic Titan, Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Phineas and Ferb, and that is the most of the things I could actually name that came out in the late 2010s that have good quality type of shows. But since then, after these shows get criminally cancelled or just ended in a good way, well, I think the only show that actually had a good, decent ending was Phineas and Ferb, but But I feel like since Gravity Falls ended, I feel like people just, I don't know, it's like people are forgetting that quality content is as useful as, telling a good story, because because it's like this: if I ate the same food every single day, my favorite food, like pasta with meat sauce or something, I don't know how to pronounce it right, but if I ate it all the time, every single day, the same thing, I will get sick of it and I will lose interest in that food. But if you the same applies with animated shows that keep on re-airing all the time, like Teen Titans Go being re-aired all the time, keeping, like, holding up the entire schedule, and because of that, people get sick of it, especially kids. Like, kids are not that stupid as you think. Kids deserve better, and I feel like they do kind of, deserve something that has good quality and has good storytelling. The problem is also the fact that I feel like with this cheaper animation style, with this less risks and something like that, it's because of this stupid censorship that is happening all over the world, and also how political correct or oversensitive, the people have become in recent years. We have. And not to mention, we have like this lesbian gay relationships being legal and trying to, hammer that shit in people's throats in a lot of movies and shows or TV shows. I feel like, and not to mention the whole feminist agenda that is happening in America. I feel like America itself is falling apart because of stupid shit like this. And I am nothing against like lesbians, gays. If you want to be like that kind of people, so be it. But don't push that agenda to everyone's throats. Like, not everyone can share the same opinion or same interests as you do, because we all are different people. We want to love what we want to love. We are people. We have different qualities or different interests. If we find, and I'm getting off topic here again, but if you guys don't know, I have been really practicing drawing, especially from picking up a Google image and try to recreate the characters that I have been creating. Like, I will show you guys, some of the art I have been doing recently. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. I know where I put it. I'll be right back. Finally, so there's some of the characters I drew from the Google images, like the original Teen Titans, Robin and Raven. Even though it was really hard to do, I really tried my best to actually create these characters, because hard work and effort does actually pay off. I don't know if you guys can see it. Because, I'm gonna put this on far, because this is really cool, because I really enjoyed these characters, drawing these characters. Like, for example, I love how this also turned out, because even though it was really hard to do, I still enjoy doing it because, you know, drawing makes me happy, and I drew characters that I grew up with, you know, that I grew up with watching. I also drew some new characters like Randy Cunningham from Google Image, because I tried to recreate something I grew up with. And that is really awesome because I really wanted to do, like, there's also Tom the Cat, Dipper and Mabel. Some of the drawings are not colored because I forgot. And also, one of my absolute favorites that I actually did was Ed and Eddie from Ed and Eddie. And because of that, these are just small examples, because even though I'm not very good at drawing myself, especially from my imagination, I still try to, you know, draw from Google Images and try to figure out what my talent is. And because of that, I love animation, and because of that, I try to create something from my own imagination, even though it does not turn out so good, as you guys could see from the whole concept art video. And because of that, I try to, even though I'm not very good at it, I try to recreate these characters, you know, from my imagination, that I come up with my own TV show that I try to want to make a reality. But because of TV execs like Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, and even Disney, I feel like making that kind of show that I have in mind will never happen. The best bet I have to make that show a reality is Netflix, but considering I still don't have like kind of like huge talent drawing and anything or any talent whatsoever, to be honest, I feel like I will never make that dream come true, and that is real sad. And the fact that Western animation itself is falling apart, especially in America, it is really worrying, because we might never get real good quality content ever again, because of, you know, laziness of Western animators that are, you know, coming out recently. I don't know, I might be speaking bullshit, but I feel like Western animation has been dying out, and I'm not really happy to see it falling apart, especially nowadays. I know what do you guys think about Western animation? Do you feel like it is falling apart? Do you think it's falling apart or not? Because I feel like it is falling apart, and I'm not really happy how Western animation is turning out nowadays. So yeah, this is a topic I really want to talk about, how Western animation is falling apart, has been falling apart, and yeah, this is someone sending off, because oh boy, this was one hell of a video to make. So yeah, bye.